I just want to mention some aspects of my book. One, now that Halloween is coming up, I just want to mention a scene in my book where, as I mentioned before, the main character is Derek, and he has to go through this demonic world to find his family. And the reason why he has to go through this world is because he opened up a portal to this demonic world when he happened to read some aspects of a book that he found on the sidewalk that a witch left for him. And so he goes into this world to save his family, and he has to win back the love of his wife, Rachel, because Rachel feels abandoned by Derek, and she starts to listen to aspects of she listens to lies, basically lies from the demon named Ra and a witch named Sally, which is something that I should dwell upon, is that the devil will only say lies, for that is the language that he uses. And I point that out a little bit in my book about the aspect of how the devil speaks lies to us, and if we listen to the devil, we'll fall into darkness, fall into dread, fall into discouragement and depression. I know I need to be careful of that when I get discouraged, especially when I think of how the book is going. I think everyone who writes a book would like to make a profit on it, and I guess I'm not too much different in that. I know that my motivation should be to just bring God's word and truth, and that's my primary motivation. I just know in my heart I would like to do it full time, and sometimes I get discouraged when I think about how hard it is to market and sell a book, and then I have to listen to the truth of God's word and not the lies of the devil, so that I don't get discouraged, and to realize that whatever happens is in God's hands, and I have to be good with that. But to go further on this story is that Rachel listens to the lies of the devil, basically, and the witch. And so Derek has to win back the love of Rachel, and she runs into this building, which is basically a bar or tavern type situation, and they get into this discussion, and Derek is making great progress, and then all of a sudden everyone in the bar turns against Derek, and the people in the bar are different from what you would normally see. They're basically drinking blood. They're sort of like vampires, I guess. Vampires / zombies, basically, and their only motivation is to kill and to drink people's blood. So if you want to call that a vampire, if you want to call that a zombie, I didn't really label it that way. But basically, the reason I have that scene in my book is just to point out that those who follow darkness, those who follow the lies of evil, are basically have their own interests in mind. They're selfish. They use people for their own advantage, for their own pleasure, and they don't care what it takes to meet that goal in their life, to obtain things for themselves. And so that's the idea behind that scene, is having these zombies and to going after Derek in this bar scene and basically trying to kill him. and then Rachel, all of a sudden, he has this great progress towards winning Rachel's love back, but then all of a sudden, then she turns against Derek as well. So there's like this big fight scene in this bar, and I won't mention how it ends, but just to say that when we follow evil, when we follow the desires of our flesh, we use people and take advantage of people for our own pleasure. So that's a challenge for us, is to ask ourselves if we're living for others or are we living for ourselves. Where is our focus? And I'll leave you with my website again. It's ericjohnswanson.com. And there you can read a sample chapter, and you can order it. It's available on Nook, Kindle, as ways of ordering a hardcover. And I thank you for listening.